The end is truly nigh. It's time to talk about South Korea's stock markets, guys, because whatever is happening over there is about to happen in our markets soon. Okay, and this is what you call the collapse. From Crypto Rover, breaking. South Korea will hold an emergency meeting today after its stock market not lost nearly 40% from its recent peak. The government is stepping in, it's happening. Right? So within today's video, we're going to be investigating what's happening in the South Korean market, guys, because it's truly something terrible, right? And this is what you call an actual black swan event, which hasn't impacted our markets yet. But, you know, at some point, whatever's happening over here with all these stocks down minus 10%, 20%, right? It's going to come here eventually, guys. And it's happening there first. So this is the South Korean stock market, okay? And it is down minus 44% to date. Okay, guys? Think about the Dow Jones in our markets. I don't know if it's a fair comparison, okay? But this is like the main market, okay, for America, the Dow Jones, right? The mother of all markets. Because this market, okay, this index started from, look at this, the Great Depression era. Okay, it experienced that era. So imagine this index, the Dow Jones, falling minus 44%. Right? That would be diabolical, right? That's like the collapse. Okay? Even back in 2020, it only experienced a minus 36% move down, right? So the South Korean market is experiencing it right now, guys. And look at that. That's parabolic, right? A parabolic move higher, it's coming parabolically down again, right? As fast as an asset moves high up, guys, it's going to come crashing as fast. So the question is, are we at the collapse point that this is happening? Possibly, right? Here's a chart of 150 years ago, which shows periods when to make money. And it says 2026 is the year you should start selling it all, right? Until 2032, then you could buy the assets back up again, right? Give or take some years, guys, plus a year or two. So this is dangerous, right? Is this going to impact our markets? Breaking: South Korea to host an emergency meeting today regarding the stock market crash. Look at that. South Korea has stepped up, guys, and they're like, we have to have an emergency meeting. This reminds me of like that 2020 Fed meeting, right? It was an emergency Fed meeting, which they're cutting rates heavily, right? The South Korean stock market has crashed minus 40% in the last month. And look at that. 40% down in the last month. Like, that's nothing to play about, guys. It's not minus 40% in the last year. It's in the last month. This meeting can lead to a ban on short selling and local pension funds forced to buy shares. Okay, so the markets over there got so diabolical that the meeting that's going to be held here soon is no one can short any assets, right? No one will be able to bet that the asset will go lower and make money from it. Okay? Which in turn, people are going to be forced bullish, right? To the point they're going to make pension funds buy shares, right? To make the money start pouring in. I'm wondering, why isn't the American market collapse yet? I'm wondering to myself, why hasn't the American market collapsed yet? You know why? Because of this exact mechanism. Instead of it's being short selling, right? They ban short selling. We have a mechanism called money printing. And that money eventually finds its way to the markets, right? Do you see why the American market hasn't stopped yet? Okay? But I'm telling you, we warned of this. If you guys remember, from years ago, we used to talk about this a lot. Okay? Whatever just happened to the South Korean markets here, right? It's collapsing this fast and this hard, minus 40%, will at some point happen to the Dow Jones. The target is how low for the Dow Jones? Let's see. Maybe to like 10K, right? This support over here. Okay? There's a bunch of support along these areas, right? And if the Dow Jones drops to like even 10K, guys, that's the collapse, right? Because that's going to be a drop of minus like 80%, right? And if this index drops minus 80%, like actual stocks are going to be dropping like minus 90, not in the 90s, right? Minus 90-ish%, like left and right. Okay? And when that day does come, that's what the collapse is all about, right? And they're going to use that event as a way to bring upon the new system. But for some odd reason, South Korea is starting the party too early, right? Maybe this will impact the American market somehow, I'm not sure. But the weird part about the crash there is, I don't even think there was news. I don't think so. I'm not hearing anything about it, right? The only thing that I heard is, oh, it just went up a lot. But look at the Dow Jones, right? The Nasdaq. Why isn't it following? Because it's not yet time, right? So again, when the collapse appears, guys, they're going to transition the world, right, with some type of major catalyst that's going to make the collapse appear, and all these assets, it will happen to America, right? So don't be laughing at South Korea there, because it will come to this index some point in time. And when they do, and when it does, that's when the transition hits. Okay? Now, what's so severe there, guys? From unusual whales, more than 360,000 margin accounts were forced into liquidation in Korea. 62% of those wiped out were reportedly under the age of 35. Okay? We're talking about 360,000. All their, whatever they were trading is now gone to zero. Different accounts, right? And that's retail. Okay? More likely than not, the insiders got out at the top before the crash even began. So prayers to South Korea, guys, right? Whatever's happening there is going to hit America sooner or later, no matter what, right? So what happened there, guys, and this is why we must study this case, because you have to be prepared, right? You don't want to be in the same boat as one of these traders, like in 2 years from now, right? When it happens here, you do not want to be, because it's going to be a very unfortunate boat, right? But we could try to stay ahead of the game because we're talking about it, right? And we know that it will happen. As such, it's happening over there. But imagine it's being like 5 times worse over here, right? So here's what happened. Korean workers in their 20s and 30s could not afford Seoul apartments, so they turned into the stock market, right? To the Kospi as their housing trade. They borrowed on margin at 3x, poured savings into 2x semiconductors, ETFs, and traded short-term trading tools as long-term bets. When prices dropped, brokers auto-liquidated 360,000 accounts. Wow. And the reason why, like, these young individuals were forced, right, pretty much forced to go into the stock markets, their markets, is because they couldn't even afford a home, right? How else could people make money these days? they see the markets rising so heavily, immediately that's what catches their eye, right? But when you're investing into the markets, it's like playing hot potatoes. Yeah, you could buy an asset and it's going to go up, or is it? Because the last person holding the hot potato gets burned. It's like a game of musical chairs, right? And that's what happened over there. So prayers to the investors there, guys. Like, this is so severe, guys. This is like the 2008 crash, right? So AI stock surge. This is the South Korean markets. South Korea becomes the 6th largest stock market in the world, and then Kospi collapses. Right, it's happening right now. But why? Between December 2025 and June 2026, South Korea's stock market surged 135%. And AI changed everything. Is this the AI bubble? Right? People are speculating what's the bubble that's going to pop everything. They're saying it's the AI bubble. Right? Where AI, we don't really need it, right? I think we do, but people are saying the valuations of certain AI companies have gone through the roof, right? Versus the output. So chip makers saw historic gains. Okay, like, what is that? Thousands of percent. Okay, gained. That's crazy. And as fast as it rose and as fast as it pumped, it's coming as fast down, back again. Okay? Yeah, so this tells us our markets are propped up, guys. It's manipulated, right? Because they didn't even see anything too crazy happening, right? So imagine when our markets come crashing down. We have to be aware, because their market collapsed with no unusual thing happening. It just happened out of the blue, right? It's going to happen to the Dow Jones as well one day, but I think before that day, it's still going to go higher, probably to 100K, right? Then the collapse will appear, the transition to the new system, that's it. But again, today was a day where you have to learn, right? Because if you don't, it's gonna come here anyway. So prepare. But it's Sophie's Macy's. See you.